Welcome to the happiest place on earth, a land of magic, dreams, flying elephants, and an army of lawyers in three-piece suits who never sleep. We all know the Walt Disney Company as the family-friendly powerhouse that owns your childhood, your current favorite franchise, and probably your soul. But behind the pixie dust and the perfect PR, the Mouse House is constantly, and I mean constantly, wrapped up in major legal battles. From stiffing Avengers to alleged pay discrimination, and even trying to use a streaming service login to dodge a wrongful death lawsuit, Disney's legal team is arguably working harder than their animators. Today we're diving into the court documents to find out what happens when you try to fight the mouse. This is Disney is Always Getting Sued. Let's start with a clash of the titans. In one corner, you have the world's biggest entertainment conglomerate. In the other, you have an actual Avenger. In 2021, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow herself, dropped a bombshell lawsuit that shook Hollywood. Here's how it worked. Disney released the Black Widow movie simultaneously in theaters and on Disney+. Johansson's contract, however, was heavily tied to box office performance. She argued that by dumping the movie on streaming, Disney cannibalized ticket sales to boost their Disney Plus subscriber numbers, costing her millions in bonuses. Disney fired back, calling her lawsuit sad and distressing and accusing her of disregarding the COVID-19 pandemic. It got ugly fast. But you don't stiff a super spy. Johansson stood her ground, and eventually, Disney cut a check. While the exact number wasn't disclosed in the court filing, industry insiders reported the settlement was a whopping $40 million. It was a rare case of a star forcing the mouse to blink, proving that even Disney has to pay up when they break a promise. While Scarlett Johansson fought for her millions, thousands of other women at Disney were fighting for fair pay on a different scale. This is the case of Rasmussen versus the Walt Disney Company. Now, this wasn't just one angry employee. This was a class action lawsuit representing over 15,000 women who worked at Disney in California. The allegation? That Disney had a systemic gender pay gap, paying women less than men for substantially similar work. Disney, of course, denied the claims, but the data painted a picture less Magic Kingdom and more Mad Men. Just recently, in late 2025, the court granted final approval for a massive settlement. Disney agreed to pay out $43.25 million to settle the claims. On top of the cash, they had to agree to hire outside experts to analyze and fix their pay structures for the next 3 years. It turns out, you can't just wish upon a star for equal pay, sometimes you have to drag the company to court to get it. Now let's head over to the parks. Disney fans are loyal, but they also read the fine print. Enter the Dream Key lawsuit. A few years ago, Disney sold their top-tier annual pass, the Dream Key, for nearly $1,400. The main selling point? No blockout dates. You pay the premium, you get into Disneyland whenever you want. Except, that's not what happened. Pass holders found themselves unable to make reservations for days that were essentially blocked out for them, even though tickets were still being sold to regular guests. One pass holder, Janelle Nielsen, sued for false advertising and breach of contract. Disney claimed they did nothing wrong, but they still decided to settle to the tune of $9.5 million. If you were one of the lucky Dream Key holders involved, you probably got a check for about $67. It's not enough to buy a ticket, but hey, it might buy you 2 churros at current inflation rates. And finally, we have a case that made the entire world stop and say, wait, seriously? In 2023, a tragedy occurred at Disney Springs when a doctor named Kanakporn Tangswan died of severe allergic reaction after dining at an Irish pub. Her husband, Jeffrey Piccolo, filed a wrongful death lawsuit, alleging the restaurant assured them the food was allergen-free. Disney's response was one of the most creatively cynical legal maneuvers in history. They tried to get the lawsuit thrown out of court and sent to arbitration. Why? Because years earlier, the husband had signed up for a free trial of Disney+. Disney's lawyers argued that by agreeing to the terms of service for a streaming trial, and later for buying Epcot tickets on the app, he had agreed to arbitrate any dispute with the company forever, including the wrongful death of his wife at a restaurant. The argument was essentially, you watched The Mandalorian in 2019, so you can't sue us for wrongful death in 2024. The public backlash was immediate and nuclear. It was so bad that Disney actually withdrew the motion, allowing the case to proceed in court. But the fact that they tried it? That is a level of villainy even Jafar would think is a bit much. So there you have it. Whether it's underpaying staff, fighting Avengers, or weaponizing streaming agreements, the House of Mouse is also a house of law. They create magic, sure, but they also create a lot of billable hours for attorneys. Thanks for watching, and remember, always read the terms and service, or you might accidentally sign away your right to sue the theme park.